Hello and welcome to another gemakei snapshot where we're going to take a look at a current gen game and give you our first impressions on the title. Now keep in mind this is not a full review, this is just simply based on the first couple hours or maybe up to the first fourth of the game. Um, Anyways, these are just our first impressions and not anything to go by entirely. So today we're going to look at the Blob 2, or De Blob 2, however you want to pronounce it. Sequel to the actually moderately successful Wii third-party title from THQ. The game is a platformer in the classic sense of the word, although it has a very unique twist in that everything that your character, which is a very round inkish blob, touches will turn into whatever color that the blob currently is. Now, the sequel takes up, I guess, where the first game left off. I actually did not play the first title, so this was actually kind of a new experience for me. The Blob is basically about this, I guess you could say, eco-friendly, ink warrior who's going to bring color back to a world of sterile grays and whites. And I guess the main villain is some little British, black ink blot. I don't know. He looks kind of like a British cop or something. Anyways, he's I guess escaped or returned or whatever, and he's basically turned the world back into this sort of droll, bland-looking environment. So it's up to you to, of course, hop back in and bring color back to the world. Now, De Blob is actually, at least part two, feels like a Pixar game, or a game that Pixar would make if Pixar made video games. Now, when I say that, I do not mean Pixar's motion pictures. I mean, this very much feels like a concept taken from a Pixar animated short. The whole idea of how the blob basically, anything he touches kind of like the color oozes and seeps over and takes over, an entire building or an entire tree or whatever. It's also very interesting that color is also represented by sound. So, like certain colors will bring like a saxophone into the background, or certain colors will bring kind of like a acapella, voice, kind of like very jazzy. Um, you get different instruments for different colors. That's actually a very cool little feature because as you're playing the game, like the colors you use kind of like morph the soundtrack around with it. So that's actually a very fun, very unique thing. As far as the actual gameplay goes, it's actually more in line with the N64 era platformers, where like you had like really, really, really big levels, and there was a lot of collecting to do, a lot of mini collecting, collect this, collect that, go release this guy, go release that guy from whatever cage or building they're in, what have you. So um, if you're in the very OCD mindset, maybe like the sort of rareware platformer from Nintendo 64, then I think you're gonna really like this game. It's also pretty solid on its own. There's not a lot of Wii games coming out this year that we know of, so this is actually a very good quality title for the Wii. It's also on 360, PS3 as well, and DS, but that's a completely different beast on there. But you get the point. The point is, it's actually very good. It's very solid. The graphics are mostly very good. It has a lot of nice round sort of bump mapping edges to it. Stuff not a lot of Wii games use, but this one does. And it's not super detailed, and it's not like Mario Galaxy level, but it's pretty good for what it is. Um, other, I don't know what to say about this one. Controls have been improved from the first game. I know in the first title you had to actually shake the remote to jump. That's been replaced with the A button, and there's really no motion controls to speak of in this game. It actually serves quite well. I mean, there's really no reason for it. I think maybe you shake the remote to dash forward, but it's very minimal. It's very mostly focused on straight up platforming. It's got a lot of 2D segments, which is kind of new to this game. They're good, but they don't really like change anything. They're about as well featured as the 2D segments in Super Mario Galaxy 2, so take that as you will. The game's split in about 10 levels, each one kind of representing a different environment, though it seems only the first level is actually one that's based on like a bioorganic. You're on an island in the first level. All the rest of the levels seem to be based on some sort of city or industry complex of some sort. But either way, it's still very fun and very hypnotic to just sort of roll around and try to you know, turn everything blue or everything orange or hell just mix it up. I mean, the game's got a very nice mission structure where it's got a very easy, clear goal for each level to just get to the end, beat the boss. But then there's a lot of side missions you can do, which they don't take up an, like a huge amount of time, and they don't like waste your life doing them. But they are there for the very dedicated OCD gamer and all of us. So um, I would say if you're a platformer fan, give it a try. If you're an artsy gamer, of course you got to play the game. If if you don't like collectathons, may not be for you. But if you do enjoy a solid platformer and a platformer that isn't trying to be, two genres in one, it's not trying to be a platformer and a shooter or a platformer and a GTA clone or a platformer and this, it's a strict platformer. So if you enjoy that and you enjoy the more N64 style of large open worlds, lots of collecting and mini stuff to do, you're gonna enjoy it. So if you're a Wii owner and you're looking for a good meaty title to keep you going throughout the year, check it out. Totally worth it. But not on the same level as Super Mario Galaxy or Donkey Kong Country Returns, although that's more 2D. But either way, it's good. It's very solid. Probably one of the better third-party platformers. So if you got time, check it out. I recommend this title, but only for the platformer, collectathon, and artsy mindset. Everyone else, rent it. At least try it. Trying can't hurt you. So that's it for this gemakei snapshot, and we'll see you next time.